I'm so happy to answer this question for you. So you don't need experience to call expireds. So don't be nervous. Here's why I know this. So I started out of a sense of urgency. I needed money. I had a finite amount of money saved, and it was a sink or swim situation for me. So I thought, where else can I go get business from people that had already raised their hand wanting to sell, and how can I connect with them? I am an assumptive seller. I like to sell assumptively. So what that means is when I call you, I'm just assuming that you're going to hire me. I'm going to assume that you're nice. I'm going to assume that you want to meet with me. And I'm going to assume that I can connect with you. And I'm going to exude that assumptiveness like when I'm talking to people. That's just who I am. It's something, I just think it's a skill that I just have, right? So when I'm calling people, let's say this is my first month in the business, I'm just looking at the whole picture, okay? And I'm saying, all right, well, this house on, let's just say Given. This house on Given, it looks like it should have sold. So I'm just curious why it didn't, right? So I have no agenda when I call these people. I know that might be different from other people's agendas, but my agenda is just to give them a call, ask them why they think their house didn't sell, ask them if it's coming back on the market sometime in the spring, because most people are saying yes, and then kind of just getting into a natural flow conversation with them. Very rarely do people say, well, do you know my house? How many houses have you sold in this area? How long have you been a realtor? Like, what brokerage did you say you're with? Like, very rarely do people say that. I find in my area that if you just get into a conversation and begin to sound different than the salesman-y pitch that they're all expecting from you, you almost catch them off guard and they're like, you're different. So my challenge to you, and you might do this month, is just give 10 expired people a call. Just give 10 of them a call. Just pick 10, look at them first, try to figure out what ideas you can bring to the table if they answer. Over time, you'll kind of get the gist of it. You won't need to research a lot before you call. Most of the time in my market, the reason it hasn't sold is because the realtor that had the listing did little to nothing to market the house. And usually the seller agrees. And so if you can talk about your marketing approach, then you have a leg up over other people. And you don't need to have this expensive marketing. Do you know what you can do? Well, you can talk about, which is what I did. I talked about my involvement in the Facebook group. So your city, your local community has usually a Facebook group. So what I talked about people and like what my marketing is I am very active on the Facebook sites. I am marketing your house to my agents that I know sell in the area. So I'm doing a search in your area for if there's any patterns of agents who kind of dominate the area. I'm going to give them a call and say, hey, do you have any listings coming up? I want to talk to you about one of mine that I have coming up. Would you like to do some joint marketing together? Would you like to do a broker open together? So I'm telling the client that I have that ability to sort of know what the agent's doing in that area and be able to reach out to them. I also talk about the power of open houses. So if you do an open house right, you should attract business. And I talk about the steps of my open house. They're very detailed and they're very specific. So we do not put a sign in the yard. We do not just put a notice that there's an open house. We do not pray that people walk in. We are very intentional about how we advertise for an open house. And it's largely just our work effort. So there's a couple of expenses if we were to pay to advertise it, but the calls that we make to prepare the neighborhood for the open house, that's free. The numbers, they're free. They come to us through our MLS. So if they don't come to you through your MLS, then you can just go use a service. Like RedX is very inexpensive. I want to say it's under $50 a month, which is very inexpensive to get numbers. And that's how you start. That's how I started. RedX was how I first started. Before I wanted to get the extra features that I found through LandVoice. And LandVoice is the system that I use now. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. I think it's amazing. So good for you that you're even open to trying this, but that's my challenge for you. Why don't you try it with 10 people, but in advance, prepare what you're going to say. Like, this is how I do an open house. This is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to put post you on Facebook groups. I'm going to do a targeted ad. I am going to talk about you on social media. I'm going to come and do content in the house and splice it up and put it on, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff, because that's where the consumer is. We're going to be professional marketing includes professional photography, aerial photography, virtual staging, virtual floor plan, video tour of the house, like talk about all the things that you could do. And depending on the price point, maybe it's something that you can, take care of. And if maybe that's in your budget, you can do that. So let me know how it goes. And I'm cheering for you because I think expireds are an awesome way for you to get business.